Hello everyone and welcome to the new edition of Live, Work, Play, the TechM Way. I'm Ashima and today I'm going to be talking to a leader who's been instrumental in shaping the RISE values at Tech Mahindra. I'm talking about Loveleen Kacker, who's been the CEO of Tech Mahindra Foundation for close to 5 years. In this conversation, we're going to talk to her about her role in the Tech Mahindra Foundation, how her experience in the government sector has helped her shape Tech Mahindra Foundation, and also we're going to be discussing on various aspects of her life beyond work. So look forward to this engaging conversation with Loveleen. Welcome to yet another edition of Live, Work and Play. Thank you, Loveleen, for joining us today. I first and foremost want to ask you that you've been the veteran and you've set up the entire system of Arise and Smart. How did it all start for you?
I was, frankly, I think more than lucky that it was virtually a blank slate and a good budgets and good support that I got when I came in here. With this particular advantage, what we started thinking about where we want to go.
Sure.
And because we were a big company, there was the opportunity to make long-term impact.
Sure.
And there was also a need to decide what verticals or what areas we would like to work in. And actually the thought process brought up to two very clear areas, one being employability or skills, and the other was education.
Sure.
So that's how in fact we have our motto also,
right.
empowering through education. So even skilling is a form of education.
Sure.
It is training. It's only part of one continuum.
Absolutely.
So that's where we began, and to be honest, I never thought that a small idea would so well in the few years that I've been here.
And fructified it has. Does your role or your experience from the government sector and coming into a corporate help you leverage that experience in this role?
I would say yes, definitely yes. You know, no matter what the issues that often trouble governments, the one thing that nobody can ever take away from a government is the wealth of experience and exposure that you get.
Sure.
So I was doubly blessed. I would say that I spent close to 15 years of my career only in the social sector. So be it in ministry like women and child, education, tribal welfare,
Right.
training. So all these huge experience I was, actually able to bring in here rather usefully, I think. That's how we've been able to build up. And the Arise concept, of course, basically the one thing that we did do was we realized, that in education, the children who come from less privileged backgrounds are all going only to government schools.
Sure.
So if we are to get the maximum out of the money that we spend,
That's right.
we must go into the government space.
Absolutely.
We must go into that space where the children who cannot even afford the 300 rupee, which the low cost budget school sometimes,
That's right.
ask for. That's where we should go,
Yeah.
which is where the Arise thing came from. The Arise basically is an all-round improvement in school education,
That's right.
which essentially is only corporation schools. So I'm happy to tell you that we actually have MOUs with more than 6 municipal corporations across the country, and we are reaching out to more than 40 schools. So we try to make a difference in the quality of education imparted to the child in the school.
And we experience this firsthand, and we see it all, through the various testimonials that we see occasionally, how largely people have been impacted. So fantastic work there.
Thank you. I think it's all with the company's support and support of particularly volunteers and peers and seniors. Everybody has helped us. But it's particularly important for me, if you permit, to talk about our skilling program.
Absolutely.
Though of course Prime Minister after a couple of Prime Ministers have been talking about skilling, and the thought essentially is this, that if our demographic profile is to be our strength,
That's right.
then that demography has to be skilled, has to be educated, has to have the capability to perform.
Absolutely.
And to do that is where the whole idea of SMART came in.
Absolutely.
So SMART actually stands for skills for market training, and in 2012 we began with 3 centers, and this year we should touch 80 centers, and which I think I am particularly very happy about. But of course the credit goes to my entire team and all the partners that we have who work tirelessly to put this thing together. So across our centers, what we are trying to do is very many different things.
Sure.
We began with the service kind of a sector
That's
thing.
right.
So where we said, okay, quick service restaurants, BPO employees, data entry operators, tally,
That's right.
back-end hospitality. And then we, you know, sort of started thinking, these are, you know, the low-hanging fruit in the skilling sector, no doubt. It's easy to get jobs, short-term courses, but then the salaries are also low.
Absolutely.
And more than that, there is very little progression. All of us in life want progression, don't we? We need to go up in life, we need to take care of our responsibilities. And so it's when we started thinking about this, and we thought that we need to go into more technical courses. The kind of courses, for example, which will ensure that the child will earn more than an ordinary waiter in a cafe coffee day, for example.
Absolutely.
You know, so that's when we got into the technical courses. So we started, you know, training boys and girls to be more boys, electricians, and we had CNC operators, and you know, two-wheeler, four-wheeler mechanics.
Sure.
And somewhere along the way, we did not forget our essential mandate is also to take care of those with less ability. So we do have a lot of centers, we call them our Smart Plus centers, where we support children who are sight impaired, hearing speech impaired, orthopedically challenged. And I'm honestly, I think I really want to congratulate my colleagues on this. Our placement rate with our disabled boys and girls is as high as that of the other centers. And a lot of companies have come up and supported us tremendously and hired, you know,
I wonder see that in the industry right now. You go to a hospitality
Yeah.
sector or everywhere, you see that
Yes, in
more larger acceptance.
absolutely. In some, some of the companies are making a specific effort to do that.
That's
Also.
right.
It's great. In fact, we ourselves have hired a sight impaired lady. She's a counselor in one of our centers in Mumbai. Maybe if you go to Mumbai, you should go and visit the center
I'd love to.
and you know, meet her. But the one venture that I would take a minute of to definitely talk about is the new Smart Academy, which we very recently opened in Delhi. Once, as I said, we did the service sector and we did disability, and we also did technical courses, though I mean, it's a little brash of me to say that we have done it. I mean, at least we took a few baby steps there. The area that seemed to beckon us was healthcare, because in health what we find is that the doctors and nurses are only about 20-25% of the no, but only 20 to 25% of the people employed in a hospital or a nursing. The bulk is 80% is a lot of paramedical staff, and that's where the gaps were. So we have recently launched a center where we have started with 2 courses. These are home health aids, basically to help aging population with dementia or lack of movement or other issues, to high dependent patients, and or even post-surgical care. For example, if you get knee replacement done, you need a lot of support.
Stroke patients.
You're right. So we have home health aids course for about 6-month course, and then we have general duty assistance. And in October we are launching 2 more courses, emergency technicians and OT technicians.
Oh, fantastic.
So by this, at the end of this year, all going well, we should be in a position to you know, be training close to 200 to 300 boys and girls in that one center alone. So that's where we are today.
My next question to you is that we've been talking about rice tenets. We are all very familiar with it. In your work situation, while you've been here for close to 5 years, is there been a particular instance that you can recall where you witnessed more than one rice tenet or one of the rice tenets?
Actually, you know, to tell you the truth, almost every story in Mahindra Foundation is a rice story.
Sure.
It honestly is, you know. Of course, I can try and put degrees to it by saying that, you know, this particular child comes from a very, very difficult background. But honestly, there are just so many such stories. In fact, I could talk to you about the most recent story that we just, you know, witnessed in the academy.
Sure.
I was there the other day when we had the you know, at the end of the first Freshers Week, we had a little do for them, and I went and I met each one of these children personally. And there was this little child called Mamta, barely 19 years old, really smart, articulate child. And she told me that she had no father, and there were 6 siblings, and her mother worked as a domestic, and she herself worked as a domestic too, and that she had not studied beyond grade 8. So I told her, so that means you've left your job now that you've come and joined our GDA course. She said, no, I get up early, I do my work. मैंने अपनी मेम साहब को बता दिया है, मैं सुबह जल्दी काम करके जाऊंगी क्योंकि मुझे पढ़ने जाना है. I wish I had that in me. I wish I had, maybe I would have done something else in life if I had that kind of commitment.
So, I mean, some of us with the best of resources find reasons not to do it.
Not to do it. We don't want to get up in the morning. We don't want to make the effort to eat the right food. We don't want to do anything right. We don't even want to study when parents are willing to support it, you know. So that child and the confidence of that girl, you had to see. I was telling my colleagues there, I said, look, this is a child who we should support and get admission into an open school, ensure that she does her 10th also as she goes along. Maybe she can come back for a higher course, and if she does an OT technician course, she can earn more than 15,000 rupees starting salary.
That's right.
That's not bad at all.
Not that bad.
You know, her younger siblings could go to school. They need not work as domestics. There's another boy that we have. He is in Bombay. Mahesh, his father came as a migrant labor from Rajasthan village somewhere, Bharatpura, if I recall correctly, and they make shoes in a Bombay chawl. And this child spends a whole day working with helping his father and his uncle. The whole family does this actually. Sure. This family business is making shoes. They all work on making shoes, and in the evening he comes to one of our evening classes schools, where he wants to finish his grade 10. So I mean, look at that. The zest for life, the desire to do better, the hunger to do better. And so I really feel, therefore, investment in education and skilling is the one thing that will pay enormous dividends to the country. Enormous dividends to the country. And I hope every child that we help is a rise story for us.
No, fantastic. I hope that too. So my next question to you would be, when we are talking about skilling and all these initiatives, it essentially bases itself on volunteering.
Yeah.
So how responsive has been Tech Mahindra to the spirit of volunteering?
You know, sometimes I'm amazed at what a great job our volunteers can do also. They are all wanting to come. They do want to come. Sometimes time is a constraint, sometimes distances can be a constraint. In a big cities like Bombay and Delhi, you can be living in one corner and the center can be at the other corner. But in a matter of 4 years, our volunteering figures have gone up from a few thousand to 45,000, and this has come only from our young men and women who are now coming in to do painting jobs in schools, to teach the kids, to teach them how to play music, to sing for them, to do theatre with them. We have summer camps during the holidays, and there's a particular group of young men that we have in the Delhi office that does theatre with them, if you please. So they are all on the stage and they are acting together. Then there are people who help to design. I've seen our posters.
That's right.
Some of them help just design our posters for us. When we want to do an event, we tell them, can you help to, this is what we want, can you help? They do such a fantastic job, otherwise I'd be paying somebody a lot of money outside to have them design. They do that kind of thing. They help to develop our entire MIS. I should actually honestly like to thank some of the associates from the Hyderabad office. They have designed the entire MIS system for the smart centers. Today we have a live smart MIS which links each and every center. So I have virtual data about every child, what his or her name is, father's name, what did she do, which course did she do, percentage of attendance, first job, and that MIS was designed by our own people. And we didn't pay them anything, nothing, not a rupee.
And it's for some of them, it's just about gratification.
It's just, no, they're happy to do it with us. They made umpteen visits to our centers to see exactly what is it that we do, what is it that we want.
That's right.
And then designed and recorrected and worked out the glitches.
So my last question to you is, it sounds like a lot of work that you do. I know you're packed with schedules. So what do you do to unwind? What's your me time like? Do you have a me time?
I should say my me time is my work time. I enjoy my work. I think if you enjoy something, you don't need to look for relaxation outside that.
Right.
A lot of people ask me this question: why don't you want time to enjoy yourself? So I said, but I'm enjoying what I'm doing. I'm happy doing. I work on Saturdays also, and I know some of my colleagues must be, cursing me behind my back because I'm calling them up on holidays and work days. But I think that's the honest truth. I like what I'm doing, so I think that's the best enjoyment that I have.
Right. Thank you so much. It's been lovely chatting with you.
Thank you, my dear.
Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye.